But that probably sums up Manchester United. Well, there's your centre-forward, you know. So they're on top of you. They don't let you breathe. And I'm talking about these 3 midfield players. But initially, I'm going to talk with Lindelof. So he starts in here and he comes into this position here. This is what Ruben Amorim wants from his middle centre-back. I don't get it. He doesn't want to receive the ball there. I don't think any centre-back Manchester United have got at the club wants to go in there and try and receive the ball with his back to goal. I'd even go as far to say is probably one of the best footballers centre-backs Manchester United ever had was Rio Ferdinand. I don't think he'd be comfortable going in there. So I don't get what you're getting from it. But he goes in there, he's got his back to play. But again, as I said, you've got Joe Linton going, you've got Tonali going, you've got Guimaraes here. He now gets the ball again. He's not a player to receive the ball in here. A midfield player receives that on the left foot and goes out the other side. He's not even a cultured centre-back, Lindelof. Let's be totally honest about it. He uses his right foot and they end up losing the ball. But a lot of that comes from this pressure in here, the 3 midfield players on top of you, in here, and then they win it because Trippier's high. But going back to Lindelof again, he now finds himself with Isak. Don't forget, teammates for Sweden, knows him really well. He's just been looking at him. He's looked at him again. I mean, what is going on there, I'll never know. I mean, it's actually a poor touch, but because of the position of Lindelof...
I don't know what he saw, what he thought that was going to happen. Lenny Euro doesn't go back and try to defend. They're second in everything. The desire was on Newcastle's side. It's just not good enough, really.
That's what it is. We're talking about not just like a team lacking... They lack everything, Manchester United. And I just highlighted Mazzari there before, but I just want to look at this again. And obviously we saw Roy yesterday, he was really unhappy here. But the freezers here, right, so you've got Harvey Barnes' first touch. You've got 2 defenders before he gets to the goal. You've got 2 defenders chasing him. If I'm telling you now when he picks that ball up, he is going to score here and not be challenged. You can't think that is possible at any level of football if it was under 5 young kids or we're talking about the Premier League football. That is not acceptable to be in that position there and to finish there without a challenge being made.
If you allow me, Jamie, you said it's almost impossible for that to happen, but if you roll it slowly, as we're going to do now, as you said, it should never happen. But I invite everyone to stay on Lenny Euro. First and foremost, he's going to try to play offside. And then, great finish first and foremost from Barnes. But please stay on Euro and what he's asking for. Pause. I don't know why. I don't know what he's looking at. But what are you looking? You're looking at the linesman, trying to see if he's going to bail you out on what? I don't know. I don't know if he thought there was an offside. I don't know if he thought that someone. We all don't. I don't know what is. We all know it's a goal. What are you looking at? I actually don't know. I don't know. I've never seen that before.
Understanding the game, maybe. I don't know. You're right, he's looking at the linesman for a long time.
We all know it's a goal.
Of course we do. But I think what happens on the... that's going to be a meme now.
No, but I'm just... It's like...
Not his first.
Yeah. But we go to the next one, and I want to just take this back again to Manchester United. So I just want to stop this and go back to this centre-back, the middle centre-back going in here. Now, it's not really about the system of the back 5, because... when we just stop it now and the goalkeeper gets it, you could argue, OK, that's a system of a 4-3-3. You've got, your 2 centre-backs have gone wide, you've got your goalkeeper. So it's not alien, teams have played that. But what you've got is you've got a centre-back almost going to a holding midfield position. He's not good enough on the ball. Centre-backs play there because they're probably not good enough on the ball in there. Now, what he wants, Ruben Amorim, he wants... this centre-back to almost make it like a double pivot, and then the midfield players can push higher up the pitch. So normally Bruno Fernandes will be higher up the pitch with Eriksen here, and maybe you can push the opposition back in that position there. But the thing that I don't like about it, very rarely do I see the ball go into this player, because they don't really want it. He's actually getting blocked off as well. And then when there is a turnover, there isn't anybody in the centre. Now, I look at that and think, well, OK, if you're playing the 3 at the back, and Lindelof was in a conventional position, these players here, the wide centre, could go wider, which then means that maybe your wing-backs could play 10 yards higher up the pitch. Because the big thing for me when I watch Manchester United, you very rarely get the wing-backs on the last line. That's why they find it very difficult to get out. So for me, I don't like this. I don't think it's going to change, because I used to do it with Sebastian Coates, a player I knew from Liverpool, who's a Uruguayan player, good defender. Really poor on the ball, but he used to play that role for Sporting Lisbon as well. I don't really get it or understand it. And then this is a problem. The goalkeeper obviously makes a mistake. But obviously, if you're playing a back three, Lindelof would be in this type of position if there was a turn-up. But again, it's just a mess.
You've got teams like Tottenham and Manchester United where their whole season, it feels like, is resting on what they can do in the Europa League. And they're both, you know, level pegging 1-1 and 2-2 in their respective fixtures. And who knows? Who knows what could happen? It doesn't feel hyperbolic to say what happens next season could rest on what happens in these next two games for them.
100%. You look at both of them where they're in the league, and there's no reason for them to be in those positions. There's no reason at all. And for United in particular, this could be the biggest game they've had in recent times. The backdrop of not getting through this could be very, very, very stark to where they want to be. There's been a lot of talk of, you know, takeover and the direction when they go in, but this is not where Manchester United should be. So it's a massive game for them. And, you know, the performances leading up to this have not been great. You're coming off a 4-1 defeat to Newcastle. In Spurs' example as well, it's exactly the same thing. Spurs should not be where they are in the Premier League table. They should never be there. 17 losses should never happen in a league campaign for Spurs. So they're both hoping that this one trophy can change the narrative and they can walk away saying that at least we got this. And both of them can't win it. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets closest or if they actually manage to progress from this tie.
I was speaking to Man United, some Man United fans, and they were talking about if they won the Europa League and finished where they are, would it be considered a good season? And one said, no, it wouldn't be. And that is obviously off of what we know that Man United were capable of, their history. But I would probably know that there's so much work to be done at Man United. You have to say that's a successful season because it's so bad.
I don't think it's a successful season. I think it saves face.
It saves face. I think
it's even better. You can say
it saves
at least
face.
we're still in Europe next year.
Yes,
finishing in the bottom half of the table, your lowest Premier League finish ever, points tally ever, with nothing to look forward to next season, just domestic games. Could be very spooky.
So even if they qualify for the Champions League, it's what they do in the Champions League next season.
Exactly.
And then if they don't qualify for the Champions League, is there then pressure already on the new owners because they're already cutting costs at the club, and then there isn't going to be that Champions League money coming in because it's certainly not coming in through the league. It has to come in through the Europa League.
Through the Europa League, and you know what? You look at Man United, and they've got the players that, especially in those kind, they can raise their game for some reason, and they can win those games. That's why they're at this stage of the competition. Tottenham, I don't know what's happening there in respects of even if they do go on to win it, which I don't think they can. You just feel like there's so much going on there at Spurs. You know what I mean? We're seeing all the stuff that's going on with their manager.
And yet Spurs decent. I know it was a 1-1 draw, but they certainly created the chances to win that one. Manchester United conceded that late goal, a couple of banana errors in that. He was dropped for the game at the weekend against Newcastle, or rested. He's had other stuff going on in his personal life as well, where you know, and so that I think that giving him a little bit of space, he wasn't in the squad in order, Ruben Amorim said, to be fit for this game in the Europa League on Thursday night. And that's all he wanted to talk about after the defeat by Newcastle. All Amorim said was Thursday. We're looking ahead to the game against Lyon on Thursday.
I just hope it's not put too much pressure on them in a weird sense because, the league is essentially a write-off. But United do have young players. They brought in a young Harry to play in their game as well on the weekend. You just hope that now that because of Onana's comments before the first leg and what happened, now come to the second leg, that it doesn't become a pressure point where they crumble underneath it because the whole season has been that. They've just not managed to rise to the occasion when they need to. So
you're saying he's going to play Onana in that game? He's rested him for that game, would you say?
Well, I mean, if you drop him for both...
He's saying it is just for one game.
Yeah.
That's what Amorim has said, but we will see in midweek. We'll see, as Ruben Amorim kept saying after the defeat by Newcastle, we'll see on Thursday, is what he kept saying. Thank you very much.
Thierry Henry has torn a Manchester United player to pieces for doing something he has never seen before against Newcastle United. Henry joined David Jones and Jamie Carragher on Monday Night Football for Bournemouth versus Fulham. Ahead of kick-off at the Vitality Stadium, the MNF panel looked back at last weekend's Premier League action, including Man United's bruising 4-1 defeat to Newcastle. The Red Devils were condemned to their 14th league defeat of the season at St James Park. Carragher and Henry expertly analysed Man United's woeful showing as the Arsenal legend spotted something no one has mentioned yet. He slammed Lainery Euro's involvement in Newcastle's third goal, which was tucked away by Harvey Barnes, who cut straight through Man United's backline to smash home a stunning goal. When analysing the goal, Henry questioned what Euro did. He could be seen looking in the direction of the linesman after Barnes scored. On Sky Sports, he exclaimed, "Please stay on Lainery Euro and what Hes asking for." "I don't know what Hes looking at. Are you looking at the linesman to see if he'll bail you out?" "I don't know if he thought there was an offside," he added. "We all know it's a goal. What are you looking at?" "I don't know, I've never seen that." "We all know it's a goal." Roy Keane, who was in the studio for the Super Sunday clash, also pulled no punches when reviewing the goal. "Barnes is brilliant, take nothing away from Barnes, but someone's got to lunge at him, someone's got to tackle him," he said. "They gave a goal away at Nottingham Forest 2 weeks ago, someone running through the middle, tackle him." Keane added, "Tackle him, lunge at him, do something. How can someone run through the middle and not get touched?" United have been sloppy in possession. A player can slip, but you're part of a team, and if you make a mistake you hope one of your teammates covers for you, but no one's covering each other on this United team.